Hey, it's Cassandra Mack at strategiesfoремpoweredliving.com. You know, there are times in life where we are all impacted by a little drama. Drama that we didn't see coming, drama that we did see coming, but it was too late to sidestep and avoid, drama that has absolutely nothing to do with you, but you find yourself right dab smack in the middle of it, or people who live to create confusion, chaos, and melodrama. It happens to the best of us every once in a while. However, if you find that you are always in the middle of he say, she say, if you are always front line and center of a misunderstanding, if you were always caught up in chaos and confusion, then you, my dear, need to pay attention to these top 5 reasons why you always have drama. Reason number 1, you don't know how to mind your own business. Plain and simple. Stop gossiping. Minding your business will prevent more drama than any other skill you could develop. One of my favorite shows from back in the day was a show called In Living Color, developed by the Wayans brothers. And there was this character who would sit on the porch and she would start every conversation with, well, I'm not one to gossip, but, and then she would tell you everybody's business in the neighborhood. And there are people in our lives like that, what I call bench warmers and porch warmers. They have no life and they sit on the bench, the porch, or call you up on the telephone and start a conversation with, well, I'm not one to gossip, but, well, if you're not one to gossip, mind your business. Don't worry about who Lisa's sleeping with as long as she's not sleeping with your husband or your boyfriend or your significant other. Don't worry about what Jonathan is driving. Did he steal the car from you or take money from you and your children? Don't worry about what Mary is wearing or whether she's too big or too old to wear that. What does that have to do with you personally? It is none of your business. Minding your business will save you a whole lot of grief. Mind your business. Reason number 2 why you always have drama, which is connected to reason number 1, you don't know how to keep your mouth shut. My grandmother always said, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Here's a true story of something that happened to a woman who did not know how to keep her mouth shut, and it cost her her job. There was a supervisor who was really on a power trip, for lack of a better word. She was really difficult, really demanding. And one of the women at that particular company always went on and on to talk about this particular supervisor, how much she hated her guts, how controlling she thought she was, just what a tyrant she thought she was. And what happened is that as other people started hearing this, it got back to upper management and human resources. And as a result, this woman was called into a meeting and she was eventually fired. So it cost her her job, when in all actuality, she could have avoided that entire situation by either taking up her issue with her manager directly or taking it up in a private meeting with human resources, but not running off at the mouth about a supervisor. So know when to keep your mouth shut. You don't always have to give an opinion about somebody just because you're asked what you think about them. Sometimes mum's the word is the best course of action, unless it's something that is severely affecting you. And if it's severely affecting you, then address it with the person head on. Own your grown. Reason number 3, you don't know how to put people in their place when they overstep their boundary. If you find that you were always in the middle of drama, whether it is money drama because somebody owes you money, whether it is relationship drama or just turmoil drama, a lot of times it has to do with not being able to put people in their place when they overstep their boundary. Just because a person asks you for money doesn't mean you have to lend it to them. And you don't have to over explain the reason why. Just because a person asks you a very personal question like, girl, I saw Jonathan coming out your apartment at 3 o'clock in the morning. Y'all getting it together or what? Why do you feel you have to answer to that person? It's none of their business. Put them in their place. And oftentimes we feel that putting people in their place makes us mean, makes us cold-hearted. No, it makes us private. It has nothing to do with that other person. So learn to put people in their place, and you can do it very classy. You could do it and still be cordial, but you don't have to volunteer your private information and your personal business with neighbors, co-workers, and people who are just nosy and don't respect your boundaries. If you didn't volunteer the information, obviously it's personal. So don't be afraid to keep your personal information personal. And even when people think they know something about you, girl, I got some dirt on you, you don't have to respond. Shut it down. Don't be afraid to shut it down. Reason number 4 why you have drama, you allow people who are non-factors in your life to take up too much of your headspace and your time. I'm going to say this one again. You allow people who are non-factors in your life to take up too much of your headspace and your time. If ever you had a situation where one friend or somebody you know came to you and told you something somebody said about you. Well, girl, Miss Benita said that you think you cute and that you wear clothes that are too tight and you too old to be wearing them dresses anyway. And then you're all in a huff and puff. You're upset. You want to approach Miss Benita because she said she didn't like your outfit and you too old to be wearing that dress. Why do you care? Is Miss Benita a factor in your life? So you are making the unimportant important. You don't even have to respond. As a matter of fact, when people bring you gossip, one of the things that you should be doing is shutting it down. I'm not interested. There's no place to go from I'm not interested. Because if a person is a non factor in your life, what they say about you does not matter. You can't please everybody. There are going to be some people who don't like you just because, and there are going to be people who love you. Don't worry about the people who don't like you just because or who think you're cute, as if you're supposed to walk around thinking you're ugly. So don't make non factor people factors in your life. Don't feel that you have to respond to what somebody says about you. Don't feel that you have to check somebody because they said they didn't like the way you dressed or the way you wore your hair. They're unimportant. If they are a non factor in your life, there's absolutely no reason to respond to foolishness. Keep it classy, keep it cordial, and most importantly, keep it moving. The fifth and final reason why you're always caught up in drama, you don't follow your gut instincts or your first mind when you get a bad vibe about a person. And here's the key. We as human beings, we're mental, we're emotional, but we're also spiritual. And we're always giving off energy. And if ever you find that you don't vibe, right? You ever heard the term like you don't vibe with someone? Usually that means that you're picking up on their spiritual or vibrational energy. And for whatever reason, you're getting information, even if you can't explain it through the five senses, that tells you there's something about this person that tells me to slow down, take a moment, keep my distance, and proceed with caution until I have more information, or proceed with caution and keep them out of my life altogether. Trust that first gut. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to be nasty about it. But if you get a bad vibe, let's say you pick up on a woman that you meet and she's looking you up and down, giving you what I call the side eye. You can feel the haterism, you could feel the jealousy vibe. And rather than trusting your first mind's eye or your first gut reaction towards this person and keeping her at a distance and doing the bare minimum, say hello, keep it cordial, keep it classy, but not really allowing her into your life until you get more information because something about it doesn't sit well with you. You find a lot of times when you don't trust your first mind about someone, you let them in your life, they cause all kind of chaos and drama. Interesting. This is case in point. I was watching the ID channel, the Investigation Discovery, one of my guilty pleasures. And there was a story about a young woman who was pregnant, who befriended another woman who pretended to be pregnant. And the woman who was pregnant had a bad vibe about the woman when she first met her. But she went against her first reaction and befriended the other woman anyway. And this other woman was very pushy, always wanted to be around her, was very obsessive, just wouldn't let her breathe, so to speak. And come to find out, the second woman who was not pregnant was plotting and planning to steal her baby from her. I mean, this all came out with the Investigation Discovery channel. And had this woman followed her first mind about the other woman, perhaps she could have cut off all communication from the gate. At the risk of sounding a little cold, it is better to be safe than to not trust your instincts and find yourself in a dramatic or even a dangerous situation that you could have avoided because you risked being unfriendly to someone. And a lot of times we don't want to come across as cold-blooded. We don't want to come across as a snob, as aloof, as mean. Trust your gut about people. If you get a vibe that says proceed with caution, proceed with caution. Trust it. And as I said, you don't have to be mean. You could keep it classy. You could say hello. You could say goodbye, but you don't break bread. You don't invite them into your home. You don't give them your telephone number. You don't give them access to you because you don't know enough about them. And there's something about their vibration that's telling you keep your distance. So on that note, you have your 5 reasons why you're always caught up in drama. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm Kendra Mack of strategiesfoремpoweredliving.com. I hope you learned something today. And always, always, always remember, you hold the pen that writes the chapters of your life. Make your story a great one. Bye-bye.